Hey everyone, today we have a strange story from the end of 2 Samuel. The anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel again, and he incited David against them. Go and count the people of Israel and Judah. So the king said to Joab and the military commanders who were with him, Go throughout the tribes of Israel from Dan to Beersheba and take a census of the people, so I know how many people there are. But after this, David felt terrible he had counted the people. David said to the Lord, I have sinned greatly in what I've done. Now, Lord, please take away the guilt of your servant, because I've done something very foolish. I'm in deep trouble. Let us fall into the Lord's hands, because his mercy is great. So the Lord sent a plague on Israel from that very morning until the allotted time. 70,000 people died from Dan to Beersheba. But when the divine messenger stretched out his hand to destroy Jerusalem, the Lord regretted doing this disaster and said to the messenger who was destroying the people, That's enough. Withdraw your hand. At that time, the Lord's messenger was at the threshing floor of Aranah from Jebus. When David saw the messenger who was striking down the people, he said, I'm the one who sinned. I'm the one who has done wrong, but these sheep, what have they done wrong? Turn your hand against me and my household. All right, so probably a lot of questions would come up with this. And one of them is, what's the big deal about taking a census? We do that every now and then, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, in the ancient world, there was a military purpose behind it, and often there were ritual elements to taking a census. So this is counting the men, really. It says people is probably talking about the men that were eligible to serve, possibly also about how many people he could tax. So there's a greed side of it, and it's really a lack of trust, right? I need to know how many men I've got because I don't trust that the Lord's going to take care of us. And there's other questions of, well, why is God angry? It doesn't actually say. This isn't directly after all the family drama. What is the anger of the Lord? Is that something separate from God? Why incite this and then punish for it when it happens? And then maybe most puzzling is why, when First Chronicles tells this story, does it replace the anger of the Lord with the Satan? Well, that last question is a sign that the Israelite people were continuing to try to make sense of these things, of these stories. And that moves towards the eventual realization, as Romans 8 and many other places tell us, that God is not against us. God is for us. And the idea of, as it mentioned in this story, God regretting or even repenting of what he had done, maybe that's another sign that we should be thinking in that direction instead. So I can't really answer all those questions that I just asked, at least in this time. So what spiritual lessons can we learn? Now again, it's a good chance that a lot of the people that died were the men that David was counting for his army. So I think we can learn that if we trust in something that's not God, whether that's military might, whether that's money, influence, intelligence, how's it going to come back to bite us? That's the true wrath of God, when our own bad choices rebound on us. I trust God, but I'm going to count again. Right? That's actually not a good statement of faith. If you need to be certain about something, then you don't have faith. We're all going to fall short sometimes, and so if we acknowledge our mistakes right after we make them, like David does here, let's trust in God's great mercy. Sometimes consequences are unavoidable, but nothing removes us from the mercy and the love of God.